Welcome to the Blessed Teach Show. This is Rick, your host. We're here on Friday, March 15th. We're talking about a major Kyoo proof, an SB2 Decode, and new drops from QAnon. It's going to be a packed show here. Oftentimes I take Friday night off, but there's just way too much to go over. So we're going to have a great show here tonight talking about exciting things with SB2, with the new Kyoo drops, as well as a major Kyoo proof with the Veto. So let's get into some of this right now. We got people here from Chicago and Georgia and Cincinnati. And wow, what do we have? Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you guys for coming over, all over Connecticut. Thank you guys for joining us. And here we got, I know, already 60 or 70 people on. Thank you so much. And this is the take two because now I have sound on. All right, it works much better when we have sound when we're doing a live YouTube video. Also, we go later, about a day later, on live on, not live, but on the podcast. But let's get into this right now because there is a ton to go over. If I look back, you can see the clock and the watch and everything else that we get to talk about here shortly. But I'm going to go back to the 3:14 post that we ended with, because I think there was one more on 3:14. Thank you, No Little Too. Appreciate it. Here we are. Let's look at this. 3:14. So here we were. This says a Fox News article. DOJ reached agreement with Clinton lawyers to block FBI access to Clinton Foundation emails, Stroke says. So this came in after I went off the air. See if there's another one. Let me go back one more. 9:52. This is, we were reading this and we didn't know what it was about. Not big enough to pull headlines, news away. Think days, Kyoo. So 49 were killed in the coordinated terror shootings in 2 mosques in New Zealand. 3 suspects in custody. So even though that was big, what Kyoo's saying, no, we're gonna have something every single day, dudes. And so all your false flags are not gonna work on us, right? That's 3078. If we go to 3079, you see this Fox News article. Tomorrow is Friday. It's talking about last night, right? 11 says DO reached agreement with Clinton lawyers to block FBI access to Clinton Foundation emails. Strzok says. So Peter Strzok, who dirtiest guy around, is being interviewed, and what we do find out though is that he actually didn't have access to the emails, and they would search it even though if they had all the emails. So basically the Clinton lawyers were determining what emails the FBI could and couldn't see, and who in the FBI could see them. That is called complete collusion and corruption. A total corrupt FBI and DOJ is what we had in the, especially they're emphasizing the DOJ right now, right? So that was last night's tweet about saying tomorrow is Friday. So that means more stuff was going to happen, and it sure did. So then he dropped an American flag in the morning, right? This freedom, justice. So freedom and justice. Here it comes, 3080. Now we go to 3081. It looks like we have a Daily Mail article about WhatsApp founder warns world, delete Facebook immediately. Dark to light, Kyoo. Now, I think you know my stance on this. I'm using their platform against them. I know they're looking at everything I do, and they track everywhere I go. But since I'm a public figure, I figured that's not going to do any more harm because they already know where I am anyway. If it's not with Facebook, it's going to be with Twitter or it's going to be with Google. But if you do want your privacy, you have to delete Twitter, you have to delete Facebook, you have to delete Google off your phone. So it's really hard because and there's even evidence that they may still be able to spy on you and track you, even with that. So who knows? So let's see what this article says in the Daily Mail. Delete Facebook now. WhatsApp co-founder accuses Mark Zuckerberg of trading privacy for revenue after allowing ads on the platforms. Now there's a whole partner that actually bought WhatsApp from them, right? Yeah, I know that. So I do know now that we can flip and it'll go to the different things now. It goes to 8chan and the flag post goes to the Patriot Fight Board. Yeah, for sure. I think any of these, if you click on any of these titles here, by the way, it'll go to the 8chan boards. So like if you want to know if he's replying to something or something like that, you'd click right here, it would go to the 8chan board. Somebody's telling me to do it on the flag. So it goes to the Patriot, that just goes to the Patriot Fight Board, and it shows you kind of where this is what the original posts are. But it's really, you only look at the pink one because all the rest are, who knows where it is. But you can kind of see the file name here specifically, but we usually get that before. So this is the freedom/justice.ping. So anyway, that's how you get to. Somebody's just saying that on the board. That this right here is how you get to the actual 8chan post if you want to go see the original right there. Right? And we just saw it says delete Facebook now. WhatsApp co-founder accuses Mark Zuckerberg of trading privacy for revenue. And you'll see here that if you look at this carefully, there's quite a few other things that he's talking about. Brian Acton sold WhatsApp to Facebook for $14 billion in 2014 and left in 2017. Defending his decision, he said he was thinking about his employees. He called for people to reject Facebook by deleting the apps from their phones. The former CEO didn't agree with Facebook monetizing strategy on WhatsApp. So again, this is a March 15th article. It gets in a lot more detail about how he's basically saying they're trading your privacy for revenue. It's exactly what's happening right now. We know that. 3082. Here it goes. Dark to light. Here's another tweet that he's pointing us to of Josh Howley. It says, much watched video. Joint Chiefs Chairman says Google refuses to work with U.S. military but provides direct benefits to China's military. Now that's a scary. This is Google for you.
What in China is indirectly benefiting the Chinese military, and I've been very public on this issue as well. In fact, the way I described it to our industry partners is, look, we're the good guys. In the values that we represent, in the system that we represent, is the one that will allow and has allowed you to thrive, and that's the way I've characterized it. So I was just nodding that what the Secretary was articulating is a general sense of all of us as leaders, and we watch with great concern when industry partners work in China, knowing that there is that indirect benefit. And frankly, indirect may be not a full characterization of the way it really is. It's more of a direct benefit to the Chinese military.
I just want to underscore this for the record so that we are absolutely, perfectly, 100% clear here that Google, an American company based in this country, so again, it's supposedly an American company, is doing work in China that directly or indirectly benefits the Chinese government at a time of increased peer competition with this country. We are in a struggle with the Chinese government over whether or not they're going to become a regional and maybe global hegemon with values very different from ours, certainly values that do not favor freedom in the world. And we have an American company that does not want to do work with our Defense Department, which is one thing, but they're happy to help the Chinese, at least the Chinese government, that is, the Chinese military, at least indirectly. I think that's just extraordinary.
Crazy stuff. Thank you, Jeff Stewart. Appreciate it. So look at this. Dark to light. So that's why I say, look here, Russia, 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 look here. And then, don't look here, China. Don't look here, China. As Kyoo talks about all the time, right? So that is U.S. General. Google refuses to work with the U.S. military but provides direct benefit to China's military. That's 3082. Here's 3083. Gets into these people are sick and evil. It is not a coincidence. It never is. Kyoo. No coincidence. These people are sick and evil. That's 3083. 3084 gets into another tweet. It just says Kyoo. So he just posted that with a Q. This is Senate Judiciary. It says, today, Chairman Lindsey Graham, South Carolina, sent a letter to AG Barr requesting documents related to alleged discussions between high-ranking Justice Department officials about invoking the 25th Amendment to remove the President of the United States. So you can click here and actually see this letter. And bottom line, Lindsey Graham's being aggressive. You'd love it. We saw last week where he was asking for just tons of documents. And now he's asking for more specifically related to the 25th Amendment. So you can see here it is talking about 7 things. So he's pretty thorough when he does these. I love it. So thank you, Spear of Destiny. The spear of the pierced Jesus and U.S. Army took possession of the spear under the name of the United States, serial number of the United States. Interesting. Thanks, his story. But here we go. Look at this. So he's talking about all documents and communications commonly referred to as the McCabe memos, written by Mr. McCabe to memorialize discussions, meetings, or correspondence he had with senior government officials, including the president. Documents and communications sufficient to show the names, titles, and business addresses of the personnel who participated in any meeting that included Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and Mr. McCabe between May 9th and May 17th, or other meetings that included these two officials during the 25th Amendment recorded conversations with the president, or opening an obstruction of justice investigation related to the removal of the director Comey was in any way mentioned or discussed. In lieu of these documents, you may provide a list of the requested information. All documents and communication relating to the meeting or members that included Mr. McCabe and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, during which the 25th Amendment, taping conversations with the president, or opening up obstruction of justice investigations related to the removal of Director Comey were discussed. All documents, communications created on or after May 9th, 2017, referred to relating to the 25th Amendment. All documents and communication on or after May 9th, 2017, referring to relating to recording conversations with the president. Any opinion prepared by the Office of Legal Counsel or any other entity within the Department of referring or relating to the 25th Amendment. All the documents and communications relied on by the FBI Office of Professional Responsibility in reaching its decision to recommend the dismissal of Mr. McCabe, including the Office of Professional Responsibility's report on Mr. McCabe. So you can see he's being really aggressive on getting these documents. So that's great news on Mr. Lindsey Graham. So Senator Graham asked AG Barr for documents on senior DOJ invoking 25th Amendment to remove POTUS. There you go, guys. That is awesome stuff. 12th Senate. Here we are with another tweet, which is Enoch saying, I think they all need to watch that video linked to us. And you can see here is a bunch of YouTube videos, all 12 of those videos that were actually, I guess, so this is something about a link. Interesting. I haven't seen this part yet. So he's saying Senate votes 59-41 for terminating President Trump's border emergency declaration. 12 Republicans joined all Democrats and voted for their resolution. Republicans yes vote. So they're saying each one of these people need to watch this video, all 12 of them. So he matched these. That's kind of funny. Alexander, Blunt, Collins, Lee, Moran, Murkowski, Rand Paul, unfortunately, Portman, Romney, once you know Romney, Rubio, Toomey, Wicker, right? 12 of the Republicans. So go look at that, how important this is, to get that done. That's funny. So 12 Senate Republicans joined the Democrats in voting to terminate POTUS border emergency declaration Q-proof. And so they're pointing back to those 12 videos, as they knew 12 of them would not vote for it. I don't know. CM, stay alert. Q. So some type of internal message or something. Q warns Code Monkey to stay alert. Imminent attack on 8chan servers is the question there. So Code Monkey of 8chan is being alerted that there's an attack coming. They're trying to take down the Q boards. They've been trying to do that many times in the past, and it hasn't worked. So hopefully the Patriots are prepared for that. This is looking at nothing to see here, just 2 random call signs logged today. The U.S. Air Force C-5 Galaxy, Q. U.S. Army UC-35A, Anon. The hashtag Q nonsense. So here is this post here, and it says, powerful statement of unity, Q. Basically, the U.S. Air Force and the U.S. Army coming to Q Anon. Call logs. It says call logs. United States Air Force, U.S. Army, QAnon, Q-proof. So we're getting all kinds of Q-proofs today. Not even haven't got to my favorite one yet. So this person says, you are slipping, boss. Already made notes, Keck. So I'm not sure what this guy was actually talking about too much, but he says, busy saving humanity, Q. And that's so not sure exactly what that was about. I have to go back and research it. I worked all day, so you guys might be able to tell me exactly what that one is all about. I guess we could click here and go see if what that guy he was parting to So again, this goes to 8chan where the original Patriot Fight board was, right? So busy and save and haven't, and he replied to this, "You are slipping, boss." What I wanted to see is what this guy was saying when he said, "You are slipping, boss." So it takes a while. You got to be patient for it to reset to the pink area. Is the one you want to be looking at. So I'm waiting for that to reset, hoping that it'll reset to where this guy was replying to something. There it is. So U.S. Yeah. So he was replying to that what we just read, the USA era and U.S. Army, where it said QAnon, powerful statement of unity, and it says, "You are slipping, boss. Already made notes, Keck." So I guess he's just saying he already made notes about this before. Okay, he said, "I beat you, Q. I'm faster than you are." And then Q says, "Busy saving humanity." Right? All right, I love it. So Q has a good relationship with the Anons, which is an awesome thing. 3087. So it's taking that old post and it amplifies on it. Says, "I have the support of the police, the support of the military, the support of the bikers for Trump. I have the tough people, but they don't play it tough until they go to a certain point, and then it would be very bad, very bad," he told Breitbart on Thursday, and then tweeted out the remark, "Coordinated, same day, how much more obvious can we make it?" So there's some type of coordination here that I haven't figured out yet. Sorry, guys. Again, just got off work and saw and read through all these. So I'm going back to the 8chan board. I'm showing you kind of what I do when I research. I'm usually doing this before I go live, but it's my Friday night, guys. I got to get to my wife and family. Here we are. It says, "I have the support of all these people." He was replying to the Air Force and the powerful statement of unity. So that post was coordinated with this tweet. I believe it was a tweet or a discussion that Trump actually said this. So this is a quote from Trump. I know that because I read that somewhere. And coordinated, same day, how much more obvious can we make it? Right? "I have the support of the police. I have the support of the military." Then you got the military say QAnon. You know, Q from one of the branches of the military and Anon from another branch of the military. QAnon. So yeah, Q's giving us like 4 proofs today. Pretty awesome stuff. That's 3089. You go to 3090 and it's just some sec test 1 Q. So he's testing some device, a security test around one of the devices, right? Because they have multiple people or a part of the QAnon team most likely. They said from 5 to 10. There's a security test 2, relay 2, Q, potentially separate devices. Here's the one I was excited about. This is just a Q proof that is beyond measure. If you look at this obviously said 3:42 p.m. If you look back before, we had one that said 3:15, and today is March 15th. So this is kind of freaky if you think about it, that they knew the Senate would override it. They knew they'd have to veto it. This is bizarre. The clock is ticking. If we are merely a so-called conspiracy, fake news narrative, why the daily attacks by the biggest media companies in the world attempt to control? You are the news now. Q. Now this was posted back on, it doesn't give the date the way they did this. So this was a while ago, and he's amplifying on it back down here. He says, he gives us another Twitter. It says, "Marker 1 complete." So marker 1 was what? March 15th, that's the 3:15. And 3:42 was when he signed it. Declaration of a national emergency on the southern border was authorized by the U.S. Attorney General William Barr in the Oval Office at 3:42 p.m. Now that is some pre-planning, guys, for several weeks ago when they give us the 3:42 clock. And then before that, they gave us a 3:15 clock. And on March 15th, they sign a marker at 3:42 p.m. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy is what that is. Marker 1 complete. Q in brackets like it's done. Checked off the list. And there's a little bit more detail on that. Oops. Make sure I get back down to that. And then he goes to the next one. It's even more detail. Check this out. So this one actually shows the full picture. So we had this watch way back that said 3:15. Watch number 1, 3:15, posted January 5th. So they're gonna know they're gonna override and veto on January 5th on 3/15. This is crazy. How did Kyoo know? Watch number 2. We just looked at that. The 3:42. So at 3:42 p.m. on 3/15, the marker is what? The signing of the veto to make sure that in effect was a national emergency for the border security where he could use the funding for the wall. The real fun starts soon. Kyoo. Woo! So that's his marker 1. So the real fun is going to be other markers that are coming. Yeah, those are called indictments is what that fun is. Watch Kyoo proof. The real fun starts soon. That's 3094. So now we go down to 3095. It says, court files reveal role of McCain aid in spreading anti-Trump dossier. Woo! Pretty cool. And this is a Fox News article. Court files reveal the role of McCain. And this is just big. This is the information coming out every day. Big, huge ones, right? And so the fact that we now know that McCain was actually, he lied. He said that he was not part of spreading the dossier to the news, and he was. He admitted to give it to the FBI. That's confirmed. But now his aide also worked and gave it to tons of news organizations. So we know that McCain, no name, was a traitor, and now there's just more confirmation now as this starts to come out. And the fact is that he was working with multiple news agencies when he did that. So that's a pretty good article here. I think it was right here that talked about the different having Senator McCain provide it to the FBI would give it a little more oomph than it had until that point. But this is the part that's the new stuff. Is a British spy, more than a dozen journalist outlets, which he then provided to more than a dozen journalist outlets, including CNN, BuzzFeed, and the Washington Post. The details were first reported by the Daily Caller. So this is David Kramer, a former State Department official and McCain associate, said on December 13, 2017, deposition that the dossier was given to him by author and former British spy Christopher Steele, which he then provided. So this is the David Kramer, the McCain associate, then provided to CNN, BuzzFeed, the Washington Post. So leaker and liar is what's being proposed there. Gosh, guys, I'm just so frustrated I didn't do my pre-roll for but let me get to that right now. These guys do the most awesome flashlight. And again, guys, this is such an awesome price as well. If you look at the way this glows and for the strobe lights, blue, red, can do SOS patterns, all kinds of things. It can be seen up to 2 nautical miles away if you see this. Most importantly, it's solar powered without direct sunlight. And then you can charge up your cell phone. So if your power goes out, you literally, through the sunlight, could charge these up. I'm going all the way down because it's talking about all the crises that could happen and all that type of stuff just for your safety. But this is what I like to show people. This right here actually charges up in the sunlight. And then you can charge up your phone. In the 2019 version, they took this charger to the side versus the bottom, so that gives it so that they could add a siren, which they did right here. So in the 2019 version, you have a siren, plus you have the compass that's on the end, plus you have the strobe lights, plus you have the solar powered, plus you have the seatbelt and rope cutter, plus you have the glass breaker. If you flip it on the other side, you also have a powerful magnet. Incredible device. Again, this is a $140 device that they're offering for half price right now. But you get another 20% off with my coupon code. And then if you buy multiple ones, you get more discounts. So literally, if you buy 3 of them, you can get this beautiful piece of equipment and something that you could have for each of your phones, for your friends and family. You can get this, put Bless 20 in here, and you make sure you put Bless 20 in the very top. You have to go open this before you will see the coupon code. Apply the coupon code, takes another $30 off, and for literally the price of one, you can get 3 flashlights. And that, again, 1 for each phone, friends, family that you love, that you want to be safe. That would be patriotflashlight.com. Patriotflashlight.com. Blessed 20 in the coupon code. Okay? Let's get back to finishing up these. That's court files reveal role of McCain aid at spreading anti-Trump dossier. And that's to me just a bombshell, again, to show that we knew McCain was lying. We knew his aide was working on it, and and McCain had email addresses, is what we're going to find out later, with the 13 corrupt people all working to overthrow the government, right, and give all the secrets out, right? So they had a Republican working for him, and he had a control over a lot of people. 3096 is maybe the last one. This is the Justice Department status here, and Kyoo just posted. It says former defense intelligence officers pleads guilty to attempted espionage. And if you look at this, it's really interesting because it all has to do with espionage, giving our secrets to China. So here we have China was working to actually get a bunch of our Defense Department information, and this person was literally pleaded guilty to attempting to gather or deliver national defense information, aid, and foreign government. The plea agreement calls for an agreed upon sentence of 15 years. This guy's going 15 years. He was literally giving our military secrets to the Chinese. And you just saw that discussion that the other military officer was talking about. Google helps the Chinese military more than they do us. Isn't that just crazy? Yeah, who's their Patriot? Says, I love my Patriot flashlight. Help Rick and buy one, guys. They are. I can tell you the feedback I get so positive about those, and people are saying I'm buying more of those. So don't make the mistake of not getting the best deal by buying 3 if you're going to end up giving them away or use them for multiple phones, right, for safety. Now here goes TBD on see if we have any refresh to see if we have any new ones. As that refreshes, it looks like we're done with that. So let's go to the SB2 decode. This is pretty awesome too. Since we're already 26 minutes into that, I'm going to do, let me see. I opened up a ton of stuff there. That was busy day on Kyoo posts as for sure. But I'm going to go all the way to look at a couple of Trump things first. This is pretty cool if you really look at Trump was right to veto resolution blocking his national emergency declaration. So he put the veto on it. So they won't be able to overthrow this even in the House now. To try to overthrow this veto, they're like 40 votes short, or I think they're right. So it won't even go back to the Senate if it doesn't pass the House, which is looking like it's not going to happen. So again, just what a president went, and they knew, QAnon knew, and President Trump knew that they were going to be doing this on March 15th at 3:42 p.m. exactly. This is the type of president that's in control. Patriots are in control. Everything's in control here. That is incredibly nice. So I'm not sure if the New Zealand thing was a false flag or not. But one thing we can know, we are proud of our president. And these coins I wanted to show you. I just got my 3 new ones today. So these things are amazing. This is the Trump 2020 Freedom Coin. They come wrapped in plastic so you can protect them. You can obviously break it open if you want, but they're beautifully done. And this coin, it can be done part of your 401k, part of your IRA, but it's kind of like silver and art mixed together. And the art is President Donald J. Trump on the front of it, right? And then on the back of it, it's got the delivering as promised. And so to show you the picture here, right here. So delivering as promised, and it gives the 4 major accomplishments. He's got so many, right? And the fact is, you can get this for $5 off now, and if you buy 3 of them like I just did, you get, I'm trying to show you guys, you actually get shipping for free as well. It saves you another $6.50. So again, these are $38.95 for the silver ones, and then you get $5 off of that, so it goes way down. And then obviously you get free shipping if you buy 3 or more using BLESSED in the coupon code BLESSED. It goes to TrumpCoin2020.com. TrumpCoin2020.com. You can get a gold one. For some reason, my coupon code, you don't need it. So here you would just buy this. It's $1,950, but you get $100 off and free shipping if you buy a gold one as well. Wish I could afford a lot of those. That'd be a great investment and a piece of history. But the silver one's a beautiful coin as well. Again, $38.95. Add it to the cart. Just make sure when you go there and check out that if you get 3 or more, put the BLESSED, give you free shipping. But either way, BLESSED will give you $5 off per coin. Okay, let's get into an SB2 decode. I've been dying to go over this because he put this out yesterday, and I had Nemos on last night, so I didn't have time to go over this. Following the maestro's clues, In the past post, we found the beautiful equation Ann Coulter 2020 equals wacky nut job. We now know she's a controlled opposition operative hired by secret societies and activated by HRC to divide Trump's base for 2020, just like she did for No Name in 2008. And since the cabal is organized and would want to cut costs, they gathered all their controlled opposition operatives in a drawer and labeled it Circus Clowns Distractions. How do I know? It's right here. So Ann Coulter promoted by the usual fake mega circus clowns. So you see William Geen on the Alex Jones show. So Alex Jones is interviewing this William Green, and why I want Ann Coulter to run for president in 2020. So they're pushing Ann Coulter to be the president in 2020. So she has no reason not to be thrilled if she was true MAGA. But now she's coming off MAGA, even though he's building the wall, doing something that no other president would do. She's acting like she's mad that the wall's not already done. And in fact, she's always been a controlled opposition, just like Alex Jones. We've talked about this. Remember, I thought that's crazy. How you know a person by their enemies? But this is much more sophisticated than that, guys. Just like Vladimir Lenin said in the USSR when he killed millions of people and bypassed the will of the people by putting in communism. And he did it by controlling the opposition. And he said the best way to control the opposition is to lead it ourselves. And that's what they've been doing with Alex Jones, and that's what they're doing now with Ann Coulter. Okay, so, and this says Kyoo, 1865, actors will act. Kyoo, 1870, think waves, think coordinated, think all outfits utilized plus fakes, fake MAGA, foreign and domestic. Kyoo, 2102, what happens if Mueller proves Free Speech Systems LLC, aka InfoWars, is linked to a foreign intel agency or other non-domestic entity? This, guys, Free Speech Systems LLC is owned and controls InfoWars. How can the left use that information to divide and censor the right? So this is the time now the Alex Jones of the world is going to be used, and the Ann Coulters of the world, to try to divide the base. We are affiliates of InfoWars. Why are affiliates of InfoWars constantly attacking Kyoo? Who's pulling the strings? It's got in brackets. Goes to Free Speech Systems LLC, Kyoo. It is the Zionist / Mossad out of Israel is one theory, but we know that they're controlled by a foreign entity. So anybody that's telling me you're divided, Rick, because you're talking about Alex Jones and he's on our side, he is not on our side. And if you believe Kyoo, then you've got to listen and open your eyes. There's another level of red pilling. One red pilling is, oh my goodness, look at all the criminals that are running our government. The second part of red pilling is understanding that they control people that are acting like they're on our side when they're not. So this just isn't a black and white thing. There's this gray area that becomes very clear that there are enemies in the foxhole with us. So be careful, guys. Be careful. If you still are mad at me for talking bad about Alex Jones, then get mad at QAnon. He's the one telling us. Okay? It's very clear. Now, here we got the brilliant Anons. All know he's controlled opposition. Same with Jack Posobiec. He's the one trying to lying to us about Kyoo. Alex lied to me about Kyoo directly to my face. So did Jerome Corsi. So does Mike Cernovich. So does many other of the... Well, that's why this says, why are affiliates of the InfoWars constantly attacking Kyoo? Why? Because they're controlled. They're controlled opposition. Now, that controlled opposition is very sophisticated. Now, here's Serial Brain 2 continues. Circus clown Alex Jones invites the other circus clowns, William Geen, to discuss how he wants circus clown Ann Coulter to run for 2020. Of course, we, the Q community, are not fooled by these belly dancers with their shenanigans. I want to back up there. Here's a brilliant SB2, Serial Brain 2, telling you guys the truth. So if you have a problem with that, then you're fooled and you're not part of this Q community. If you want to be part of this Q community, understand the truth. Sorry for being so black and white here, guys, but but we need to think for ourselves. I appreciate that, but I am tired of people sending me message about me being divisive when it's Alex Jones being paid for years to look like a fool and make us look silly. Okay, and as SB2 says here, circus clown Alex Jones invites the other circus clown, William Geen, to discuss how he wants circus clown Ann Coulter to run for 2020. Of course, we, the Q community, are not fooled by these belly dancers with their shenanigans. We know what they are all about from Q 1870 to Q 2102. In Q 1865, Q reminds us about Alex that actors will act. AJ is wasting his time trying to perniciously undermine POTUS and think we don't know what he's really trying to achieve. It's the same drop, Q says, Q 1865. We are in control. So, William Geen's, Alex Jones's, and Ann Coulter's of the world, who thought with their masters that Trump was HRC's best candidate to beat, we can't wait to see another episode of your fake celebrations and worried faces the night Trump gets reelected. Can't wait. Now it's time to compare our results about their puppet master HRC. What did you find about their family tradition, consisting in going to see the Tchaikovsky ballet, the Nutcracker? In addition to the link I gave you, I'm sure many have been led by their investigations to meet with the wonderful Hillary Nutcracker. So here's the YouTube of the Hillary Nutcracker. This guy finds it in the store.
Man, just had to film this one real quick. I almost want to buy it, but they want $20 for this thing. I think it's just as awesome just to look at it. Hillary Nutcracker.
What do you expect? A teddy bear?
So. They want
It's on the
$20
side.
for it now.
And it's going to turn it over here, and it has says, heard on the street, I can't feel Bill's pain. Barack Obama. I guess the battle against the vast right-wing conspiracy is on. Still, Dick Cheney. Why does Hillary get to have all the fun? Nancy Pelosi. Hillary Nutcracker. That's redundant. John McCain. I'd be getting nervous if I was one of those nut jobs. Kim Jong-un. That was 2. I feel the squeeze from 50. Okay, so I didn't get through them all. But you can see, kind of funny, that's a Hillary Nutcracker. Then here's one where it shows it being used. Now you have to, this one's not used, so you have to go to the, I think I opened it up. I did, I had it opened up. I'm sure I'll get to it in a second. Let me just hit it here. Watch this video on YouTube. We'll see that later, but here we go. Whitewater, and we see Hillary's Nutcracker. For those of you on the podcast, it's a nutcracker with her 2 legs, and in between there's steel that just literally cracks nuts. Chinagate. They are cutting Chinese items, and here Vince Foster shows them breaking up Vince Foster. So here they are, just kind of doing a silly little video using the Nutcracker to crack nuts. Pardon Gate. She is breaking another huge nut. Foundational Gate. She is breaking that as well. And then it goes to the next. What's that? Lincoln Gate. All these scandals. She's just basically email gate. That's the one that's going to bite her down. This one shows just thousands of crumbs coming out, like the 30,000 deleted emails, I guess. They're all going to be found here soon. So this is Hillary's Nutcracker. I'm going to watch this whole thing. It's kind of silly, but it's about 30 seconds late more, where it shows a few. Lootergate. They're showing all these different types of nuts. Benghazi. There it has like 3, 4, 5 nuts being broken. Let's go. It talks about a bunch of people in Ron Brown that have been destroyed by, most likely part of the Clinton body count, the Nutcracker breaking more nuts, which is really a doll of Hillary. And so all these other things: Servergate, Helicoptergate, Humangate, Webgate, the Clinton body count. It's got nut broken, note broken. Are you ready for Hillary? Are you ready for Hillary? And it has a picture of her. Are you freaking nuts? So everything on that whole Nutcracker, and then if we go back to SB2, he's talking about that. He says, a big load of Bavarian coffee for those who went through the Mail article I linked and noticed there was one peculiar area with many typos. That's how they do it. Hey, thank you, Susan Stowe. So did you ask yourself why all the typos were concentrated in 4 consecutive paragraphs? Coincidence? With the training you have now, you received, you know this is where the Mockingbird media is hiding its message to their network of operatives on the ground. This is the perfect type of article that will help me illustrate a very important fact about the cabal. You already know they use the media to send coded messages between themselves and push their social agenda. You also have to know that they use it to renew their secret allegiances, praise their satanic hierarchized sub-divinities, and praise each other for being loyal to Satan and to his project against mankind. Another function of the media is to allow them to comply with the disclosure rule I told you about in my Kyoo Occult spiritual series. Because of the following verses in the Bible, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Thank you, Patricia Barham. All right, says hooray for another subscriber. My sister has awakened and subscribed today. Awesome. Welcome, Patricia Barham's sister. So here you have, this is amazing. Satan and his buddies have to disclose to us what they are up to. They bet us on exercising our free will with ignorance, and they systematically win this bet because they have already successfully dumbed us down in the schools and made us doubt they existed. They make us watch movies and call them fiction, while in fact they are documentaries describing their strategies to destroy us or our questions aiming at collecting our unadvised consent. Q142. Why did Hollywood glorify Titanic as a tragic love story? What an amazing secret I have just revealed to you. I am saying it is through wisdom you will gain power, and through this power you will become what you were meant to be when you were divinely created. The representative of God on earth. Let that sink in. So you thought Satan was just going to wait for you to figure it out and become your slave without trying anything? He had to try to enslave you before you realize who you really are. The last major function of the media is to use it as a dissemination medium to cast spells. Yes, you read it right. It's right here. Q128. What is a spell? Who is asleep? Dissemination? Attention on deck. There is an active war on your mind. Everything you read, everything you hear, everything you see is designed to have an effect on your mind. If they are the creators of the content, hate you and fear the day you realize who you really are, do you think this content would be harmless? While they made us focus on studying their lies to get a PhD, they were studying us to control us. I have a simple question for you. If it is proven subliminal messages are efficient, shouldn't our lawmakers protect our children, our freedom, and regulate their use in cartoons? And here's a video that talks about the top subliminal Disney messages. I didn't think they picked a very, very good 5, to be honest. But it says, and so then this goes on, in the cartoons or in the mall. Why is everybody silent about this? Do you see the problem? We were taught in their schools the representative system was the panacea. Then when we picked these representatives and trusted them, Satan hired them through his secret societies, and voila, then to minimize this workload, he added some sophistication to the system by making sure we could only pick among people he already hired. Whatever door you pick, you are headed to hell, but at least you are under the illusion you exercised your right to choose. That's what the maestro means when he says about migrants at the border. They make a left turn or a right turn. He's so right. Wherever these migrants go, Satan has his reps in both parties to host them. Now you realize the vastness of the challenge facing POTUS and Kyoo. Once again, you saw I missed my Kyoo Occult Spiritual series. I'll get back to it someday. Let's now decode each layer of the article. Layer 1, political orders. Thank you, Jeff Stewart, again. We're all part of history in the making. That's exactly right. That's what's happening right here. The typos are coded messages to deal with the opposition. So you take that article that they point to, and there's a bunch of misspellings, and that's the one that they use to decode. And so he's decoding this. I'm not going to read all this because of the amount of time that we have, but he's basically decoding this as DTTC, and it's basically talking about Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson. That's who they're going after. Keeping up the pressure by targeting and intimidating Trump supporters in the media space. So you know the mobs at Tucker's house, they're all after Tucker, trying to get him off the air at all costs. Found something way back 10 years ago that he said and trying to use that against him to say he should resign. We corrected the 4 typos, and notice the correcting letters are the initials of Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson. Based on the mob protests at Carlson's home a month prior, we deduced the decoded message. Perpetuating the cult is layer 2, the Nutcracker, the full menu. And this is talking about a Daily Mail article that talks about Hillary Clinton and the Nutcracker. Right, we were reviewing this earlier, and it's got the Nutcracker by Tchaikovsky, and then we see over here you see power, cannibalism. So in this you'll see all kinds of weird things, possession, idol worship. These are all the things that you'll find at the Nutcracker show. Shape-shifting, spiritualism, all-seeing eye is there, the owl symbolism. So the decoded message that he wants to get out of there is presents are given out to the children. Suddenly, as the owl-topped grandmother clock strikes 8 and mysterious figures enters the room, and then 4 lifelike dolls. So all that is coming into what this next layer is perpetuating the cult, right? Just like we go to church, to the mosque or the synagogue, Satanists go to their temples. Most of what's called art is actually rituals. Think spirit cooking. Going through the symbolism in their Nutcracker, we notice this ballet is a one-stop shop with a full menu of experienced Satanists. Everything dark is in there. Check for yourselves. Layer 3 is renewed allegiance and disclosure rule. And I'm not going to read all this again, but this is what, if you look at this, we see her kissing Robert Byrd, the KKK guys. The cult runs the world. What does deflower represent? Sacrifice, collect. So the decoded in the middle is the Clintons are in the cult. Their lives belong to the cult. They have given their souls and now live in the cold. Membership is transmitted through bloodlines. Chelsea's turn to join. Members of the cult are racist and consider people as subhumans with rights they can trample on. Humans are commodities. Shopping bag in one hand. Cult members are with their children. The noble ones, the other hand. Members of the cult are ritually prepared and offered sexually to demonic entities who can abuse them at will in exchange for power and wealth. That's why they say these people are sick. Members of the cult perform blood sacrifices for the divinities for protection and to strengthen their capacity to intervene our dimension. Blood contains the chemical key. In this layer are disclosed all the secrets about the cult. Very read very carefully, identify how each paragraph was decoded, and read the confirming cue drops to illustrate the disclosures about racism. Let's watch this video. And so you'll see how he's taken this and decoding it into this, but I'm not going to have time to go over all that. I'm going to skip this video too. It's just somebody, African American, complaining about her calling back in 1994 super predators. You probably heard her talk about that, and then they have to have this person come out. So the discussion about it here says, did you enjoy the hypocrisy of identity politics in the real life situation when they know cameras are filming? Thank you, Steve Byrne. Thank you. I look forward to your Decodes and News Nightly. Thank you, Steve. Really appreciate that. And HRC apparently did not have an African American in the team to take care of the situation in a manner that would not be offensive. At 102, they send in a poor young Asian lady, the center staffer, who obviously has no clue what to do or say. Then short pants Podesta type, how many of those does she have, comes in at 108 with the water guns and the muscles to escort her hero out, our hero of the day. Point made. You will see in the complete video that to end its epic incident without anyone's help, Hillary sinks even deeper by saying, back to the issues, implying that this African American girl's demands were not one of them. Did you catch Michelle Anderson's powerful statement about the Clintons' fight to make impossible social reinsertion for black people? Look how it contrasts with Trump. So I'm not going to play this whole thing, but in general,
Democrats began competing with Republicans to prove they could be even tougher on them.
Oh, I think we've got we've got somebody saying here, we have to bring them
apologize for mass incarceration.
and then they basically kick her out. She's saying a bunch
College.
of
This
things.
is not appropriate. This is not appropriate.
Housing, so that people wouldn't have housing upon release.
First, we have to bring them to heal. First, we have to bring them to heal. Bring them to heal.
and I'm happy to address it, but you are the first person to ask me here. Okay, back to the issues.
Back to the issues, right? So she's
that-
back to the issues after they kick her out, right? That was the whole point. Here's the State of the Union, where Trump is addressing for about 5 minutes here just his love of people in general, including the blacks and African Americans, right? And this was kind of a historic
And
part
just
of this.
weeks ago, both parties united for groundbreaking criminal justice reform. They said it couldn't be done.
And I just don't have the time to play this whole thing, but it was a touching moment, and I apologize for just the lack of time here. So go ahead and see that.
The U.S.
But
MC.
to dishonoring two black people for that were jailed, and they got out of jail because they had way too high of sentence for non-violent crimes. It's just a special moment at the State of the Union. You got that. Now you know how the maestro took control of the center of the political chessboard and why they had to activate Ann Coulter and make her attack from the right. Now question, black voting population? How about far-right voting population? Check. In addition to that, what happens when people know the truth about the wall and realize before 2020 it was already being built? Won't the stolen M&Ms find their way back home? Checkmate. Q 999. These people are stupid. Q. The spell is layer 4. Layer 4 gets into a bunch of stuff he's decoded. I'm going to skip this in the interest of time again. Basically the thanked, capital letters, what's the spell? We'll get into this a little bit on the spell. He says the article gives us 4 numbers, and he takes those numbers. By coupling them, we get this. 75 is the Hebrew gematria value for the name. Hayelel is the original Hebrew text of Isaiah 14:12. Advice: always go back to the original text, which is Lucifer in the KJV and Morning Star in NIV. Coincidence? Then the witch coded Lucifer 74 is the Twitter timestamp 7:40 a.m. Coincidence? Do you see how the 74 inverts to DTTC 47 equals image 2? This is why it is called the opposition. To cast her New Year spell, she coded 64 in the capital letters of the 6 groups of helpers through the initials, and of course you caught 64 is the value for spell. Q128. What is the spell? So all that was for the spell. Do you see it? In the tweet, the family is looking into the sky at their beloved Lucifer, their morning star, the light bearer, their God, who they believe brought light into 2018 and who is now praised to cast a spell on us so that they can continue to rule and be protected. Well, no. Don't you get it? It's over. Since November 2016, Lucifer has today more problems than you do. The last piece of the puzzle, using the usual method with the capital letters, timestamps, and highlights lines from the Q drops, we get the remaining individual decoded messages. Read each of them very carefully and try to reproduce how the messages were deduced from various clues. Since we've almost burned through the hour, I'm going right to the decoded message. We need dirt for 2020. Any dirt. The decoded message is this. They are trying to find dirt on me in preparation of the 2020 election. This is all decoded from Trump's tweets or drops, right? In case they can't find anything, they will investigate my team officially and officiously in an attempt to weaken me and prevent me from preparing the 2020 elections efficiently. The Cohen play. The activation of Ann Coulter to undermine me is only the beginning. More attacks will come in the days ahead. Yeah, they will. They sure will. And they're going to be coming from the right, guys, with controlled opposition. We have it all. Soon, the judiciary system will be activated. And the decoded messages from several of these tweets and comes down to wacky nut job. Decoded message. I see them. Everything they do is monitored. FISA goes both ways. I know their plan for 2020. They thought their wacky nut job would remain unanswered. Soon, all the judiciary system will have been completely cleaned and replaced. The party will then start. You gotta love that, huh? The grand jury soon. Alert system ready. Truth missiles cruising. And I'm going to skip these, but the decode just all the way to the decoded message, again, based upon some tweets as well as some that points us to certain Q drops. And an article by Tom Fenton, he comes to the decoded message is, what a wonderful day. Grand jury soon. The Huber carnage. Alert system ready. Woo! You gotta love it. What if Putin was not your friend? And there's again a couple of tweets of Mike Pence and Trump that point to certain drops, and he decodes out of that. Basically, Vladimir Putin, the New World Order, worship Satan. That's a quote from Vladimir Putin, right? And from Q 133. And one of the decodes is false friend. So the decoded message is, what if Putin only colluded with you because he thought HRC would win? And he had to preserve his country's interest. Now that I'm POTUS, don't you think he would continue to preserve his country's interests? Putin is not a Satanist. He actually hates you. Did you see Q133? Look at my timestamps. How many players in a soccer team? Do you remember Helsinki? Do you remember the soccer ball he was given? So there was some pretty important stuff on here. This is a full JFK speech that he goes to next. The final message about the secret societies. And he started printing money, started telling he's going to break up the CIA in 1 million pieces and scatter it to the winds. And then a few months later, he gets assassinated and taken out. And so this is the summary of it all right here. The Maestro's decoded message. Let's read this because this is kind of exciting. And then we're going to wrap it up with some prayer. As you know, we are at war, and the war is essentially spiritual. Our country, our way of life, and our freedom have been hijacked by an evil, sprawling structure using politicians we trusted and who have compromised themselves with undisclosed elite agencies to undisclosed powers through undisclosed oaths and secret societies. JFK tried to correct America's course and put it back on the glorious path traced by our founding fathers, but they assassinated him before he could even start. Since my election, I have attacked the very foundation of this opposing structure, the cabal, whose primary mission is to harm our children, kill us through multiple means, dumb us down, and impoverish us. Their attack is not only against America, it's against humanity. Their attack is violent, pernicious, and fueled by a hatred of mankind and his children, whose contours many would be shocked to discover. The explanation for this violent hatred can be found in our Bible and in the simple observation of what surrounds us. Q3, many of our government worship Satan. In their frantic pursuit of an ever-increasing wealth and power, they engage in international human trafficking in order to sacrifice our children to ancient deities that they continue to worship. Under the disguise of major governmental infrastructure projects, they have diverted gigantic amounts of public funds to expand and monetize the underground facilities they need to secretly continue their sick and illegal activities. I have put an end to this. With my executive orders and the help of our great military, the international satanic cabal is not only financially sophisticated, but all its supply lanes for human trafficking being blocked. It's no longer able to continue these rituals, and I have set myself the task of eradicating. The satanic cabal knew that after my election, I would immediately take the necessary steps to terminate their operations worldwide. They tried to stop me with the Russia hoax and their fake news media, hoping I would finally compromise under their pressure. It did not distract me. With your support and your prayers, I am focused and we are going all the way. Now that they are significantly weakened, they are retaliating by targeting those around me with unjustified official and officious investigations and activating fake MAGA politicians to divide my base. They are hoping with these tricks to undermine my preparation for 2020. That's fine. If this is the game they want to play, I was ready yesterday. I have it all and have cleaned up the judiciary system. In the coming days, I will conduct the Allegro. I played for them, and they will for sure understand why I am called the Maestro. All types of instruments will be put to contribution for the most beautiful piece of modern political history. You will be able to follow the place of my D-class wand, and I conduct the Allegro. J. Huber Feiser. That's Grand Jury Huber Feiser. Now let's talk about Putin. You thought he was your friend? What if he told me everything he knows about you and your puppets? So you thought we would both fall into the trap of the Russia hoax and be at odds? Do you remember Helsinki? He gave me a beautiful ball I still have. Q783. RIP JFK. We will succeed. SB2 says, we have identified all the pieces of the puzzle. We can now extract the final message from Maestro. Read very carefully. We just read it. It says Q3011, sealed to unsealed. Indictments coming. Q. Woo-hoo-hoo. There's a SB2 on fire. A very long one that took all our time up. So we're well over an hour now, hour and 3 minutes. So I want to wrap this up by showing you guys this to make sure you go to my Blessed to Teach website if you want everything I've shown you to get to this and other posts. Go to blessedtoteach.com. The 2 is a 2, the number 2 versus a TO. blessedtoteach.com. Obviously, go down a little bit. You can get on the email list, and then you get the link sent to your email each day or after each show pretty easy. I'm on Spotify, SoundCloud, as well as Stitcher, iTunes, and iHeartRadio. And if you go to the down here, you get to the show notes as well, and books recommendations, as well as the videos and my sponsors. And down here you'll see where I am on social media: minds.com, gab.ai, Facebook, Twitter, and then backup channels as well as BitChute. All right, guys, I really appreciate you on this Friday night. I want to end this up in a prayer. We'll get back to the prophecies and stuff when we don't have so much stuff to go over. It's been crazy. But I want to get on to my Friday night and back to my wife. So here we are. Heavenly Father, just thank you so much for enlightening us to truth. Lord, thank you for your biblical word. It's just so amazing to study that each. I'm going through the book of Luke right now, and it's just so amazing to see how brilliant you were as the Pharisees came and tried to fool you, experts in the law trying to fool you. You can't fool the creator of the universe. You just can't do that. And the deep state and the cabal and the Illuminati, no matter how powerful they are and how much control they had, when you decided to take them out, Lord, there's no way they're going to succeed against you. There's no way they're going to fool you. Thank you for giving President Trump the power and wisdom, the white hats, the military intelligence, the NSA, the power and wisdom. Lord, we just pray that you give that same power and wisdom to us who are trying to discern the truth. Give us discernment. Allow us to understand what's true, what's not true. Allow us to know how you want to use each of us as you clean out that house, and allow us to bring righteousness back into our nations worldwide and allow your gospel to flow. Lord, communicate how you want to use us to impact our culture. Thank you, Lord. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Hey, guys, you have an awesome Friday night, or if you're listening to this recording Saturday or weekend, really appreciate you taking the time for the Blessed to Teach show here on Friday night. Again, we had a Kyoo proof that was amazing. 2 separate things all the way from January showing 3:12 on the clock, 3:15, which ended up being March 15th. And then another clock showing 3:42, which you see right behind me here, being the time they signed and veto and the national emergency went into effect to protect our borders. They knew this back in January, guys. Another huge Kyoo proof with 2 major errors. 3 or 4 other Kyoo proofs came in today as well. It is an amazing time. So this is SB2 Decode as well we went over. This is a Blessed to Teach show. I'm Rick, your host. Thanks for joining me here, and God bless you guys. We will catch you next time.